Welcome everyone to Intergenerational Dialogue. I'm Nilima Basnet, the young BPW International Representative, and this project is initiated by Dr. Anne Hilke and myself. It's been more than a year, so we're very excited for this new format. The entire format of this project is to have a series of online dialogues among the generation of our members for the sustainability of BPW. The topic of that we have today is our United Nations work on the ground. BPW has a long history of working with the United Nations. It was the first organization to be granted consultative status with UN in the year 1947. So today we have two speakers from two different generations of BPW. The first speaker we have is Dr. Arzu Ozyol. She is the immediate past Vice President of BPW International. And she was in charge of our UN advocacy. She's also the founder of BPW in Turkey. She holds an MBA in environmental engineering and a PhD in environmental biopolitics. Dr. Arzu currently works as a senior independent evaluator for European Union Horizons program. So next speaker that we have is a very young member. She is Selin Ozunaldim. She is a young BPW member of BPW Maidens Tower Club in Istanbul, Turkey. And she is just 17 years old, gender equality activist. Selin is the youngest representative of United Nations Women's Global Gender Equality Movement, he for she, the founder of the first Girls of Club in Turkey, a campaign started by United Nations Foundation to help girls build leadership skills, and the founder of the Girl Who Code Turkey, where she and her team focus on teaching the basics of coding to young girls. Selin is also a member of Girl Rising Young Leaders Task Force and is currently in a leadership position working closely with United Nations Girl Education Initiative to transform education. She is very proud to be one of the 300 activists across the globe chosen by the United Nations as gender youth activist. Selin has recently developed her own platform, We Ground Zero, where she gives 10 minutes interview with change makers to inspire and empower Generation Z. So with this, I would like to welcome both our speakers, and this is an intergenerational dialogue. So the first person that is going to share her advocacy initiative is Selin from Turkey. So the floor is all yours, Selin.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. I am very excited and proud to be a part of this dialogue. I am a 17-year-old gender equality activist from Istanbul, Turkey. And I would say my activism journey has started around 2 years ago when my little brother once told me that I didn't really have to worry about school because I could just simply get married. In that moment, I knew that I had to do something to break those stereotypes, and that sentence was my motivation. So I remember one day later, I got in touch with UN Women HQ to participate in the He for She movement. I have always been interested in being a change maker and just advocating for my passion and to share my own truths and my opinions. So with their support, I have brought the He for She movement to Turkey on a high school basis and started to advocate for gender equality across high schools around Turkey. That was a moment when I got UN Women Turkey's attention, and I have become the youngest representative of He for She movement in Turkey. But I knew that my work was nowhere near to be done, especially with very similar to BPW's mission. As women, we have to support each other. We have to have each other's backs, and we always talk about we rise by lifting each other up, but we never took a real action towards it. So that's why I got in touch with Girl Up, which is a campaign started by the United Nations Foundation to help girls build leadership skills, as Nelima stated before, and brought Girl Up Club to Turkey. But being an activist, day by day, you find more things that has to be changed. That was a moment when I realized the stereotypes in the STEM field. So even though we talk about how STEM is going to be our future, the gender roles, norms attached to coding and robotics is very much brushed under the carpet. To take action towards that, I have brought the Girls Who Code movement to my country. And with Girls Who Code team, we have visited public schools, had guests to our school, and held workshops, co-hosted and hosted events, conferences. And with the help of media and press, we were able to reach to 30,000 young girls, and it was an honor to inspire them. And afterwards, with the pandemic going on, I knew education has been such a priority for me. But especially with the pandemic, I saw that there was a very much visible inequality when it comes to education. In my country also, but there are also other countries, especially there are rural areas who do not have access to technology, internet, etc. So as you probably may know, the Malala Fund estimates that 10 million girls will be out of school by the end of the pandemic. So to take action towards that, I have got in touch with the United Nations Girls Education Initiative and been a part of Transform Education campaign, where we get in touch with policymakers and governments and write papers and host workshops and writing shops to actually advocate for an equal access to education. I'm also currently doing an internship at Girl Rising, an organization that is dedicated to equal access to education. And what we do is, especially as interns, we have started a fundraising campaign to, especially for Guatemala, Kenya, and India, to get them the educational supplies that they need, and also partnered up with the HP Computers and started a storytelling challenge, because as Girl Rising, we believe that stories and storytelling has a huge power on creating a meaningful change, and we definitely wanted to use that. And also, for furthermore, with Girl Rising, we will be launching a new module. I don't know how much I can talk about this right now, but we know that there are governments or ministries that cannot have access to education, and even though they have technology, the government or their ministries don't really care about those children. And this is a fact that we use, that we see on news. So with Girl Rising, we will be launching a new module, like an interactive module for, how can I say, like an online school, but it will be more international, and we will be having volunteers and mentors. It is still a pretty new initiative, but we're very excited to be a part of that new online school system. And of course, it is, as a young activist, I want to reach more, inspire more, and empower more. So I know that my work is nowhere near to be done until I make sure everyone is being treated equally just because they are humans. And I'm extremely proud to be a member of Young BPW Maidens Tower Turkey and have them and have their support with me on this journey. Now I would like to give the floor to Dr. Arzu.
Hello, everybody. Do you hear me? I would like to explain you my adventure since 2002, when I have crossed paths with BPW. When the European coordinator of the period, Gabriela Canonica, requested me to establish the BPW club in Turkey. I asked for a week to understand BPW better. As a result of my research, I accepted this task with great happiness because I really admired the rich history of BPW International. Just after the first BPW club had been established in Ankara, I started to work to strengthen the institutional capacity of BPW in Turkey, as well as to support BPW works at international level. From 2014 to 2018, I participated in every UN-CSW process without interruption. My intensive participation in international processes both strengthened my individual capacity and increased my commitment to BPW day by day. In 2011, I became one of the UN representatives of BPW International. I am really appreciated to BPW International to give a chance to me to participate in the launch of Women's Empowerment Principles in the same year. In this meeting, Secretary General of the period, Ban Ki-moon, announced the WEPs to the international community in response to the UN General Assembly Resolution 63/311. And the report, which was entitled as the Composite Entity for Gender Equality and the Empowerment of Women. Therefore, I can say that 2011 was an important turning point in my life, because after 2011, my work as a women's rights advocate in both national and international processes came to the fore. In between 2011-2014, BPW Turkey realized many advocacy work to the Turkish government in order to push them for implementation of the principles in the workplaces. And we also focused on Turkish companies, corporations, to increase in the number of the signatories to the UN Women Empowerment. 2012, I translated the first official document of UN Women Empowerment Principles into Turkish and published 1,000 booklets in order to use as an advocacy tool. By the support of biggest Turkish telecommunication company, Turkcell. I am really honored that this study has been approved by the United Nations as an official UN document and is featured on the UN. Sorry for that, because I connect my mobile phone because of the sound problems of my laptop. So sometimes my phone ringing. Sorry for that. I am really honored that this study has been approved by the United Compact's webpage. Moreover, we prepared and implemented 4 European Union funded projects and 3 international conferences in the framework of Women Empowerment Principles. These conferences also gave me a chance to host many BPW presidents, board members, and a lot of BPW members from all over the world and introduce them to our Prime Minister, ministers, and Member of Parliaments. No effort is left unpaid. In 2014, BPW members elected me as the Vice President to the United Nations and the Chair of the Steering Committee on UN CSW. Looking at the history of BPW, it will be understood what an honor this mission is. After the United Nations had been founded in 1945, International Federation of Business and Professional Women sprang into action and made its request for consultative status along with 32 organizations, which was granted by ECOSOC in 1947. Esther Heimer went on to the lobby for the establishment of a special body to prevent or eradicate all kinds of discrimination against women. This was granted, and a subcommission on the status of women was set up in the same year. Although the period of my vice presidency from 2014 to 2017 was a very difficult time on my life, I must say that I will always be honored to walk along the path set by Lena Madison Phillips and Esther Heimer, and to work with our distinguished member and UN representative Susan O'Malley, who was the chair of UNCSW 58 years after its establishment. Hereby, I commemorate long memories of Lena Madison Phillips and Esther Heimer once more in order to enrich us with legacy and pledge of us to fulfill our mandate. Of course, in such a short time, it will not be possible for me to explain in details what happened during my tenure, but I want to share with you some of the highlights of my period. Preparation of the Triennium Report to the ECOSOC for 2014. Preparations of annual DPI NGO reports for 2015 and 2016. Submission of written statements for UNCSW 59, 60, and 61. Submit and deliver of our oral statement in the General Assembly of the United Nations in UNCSW 61. Organizations of 20 side events in 3 years to strengthen our collaboration with other NGOs, UN agencies, government delegations, missions, and corporations, and create synergy among our national federations and affiliates. Using this way, our shared action would be more effective and incisive. And it is the first time. It is very difficult. It is very important for me. We prepare an advocacy toolkit and starting online orientation programs for the delegates in order to increase their effectiveness in our advocacy works in the United Nations in CSW processes. I am proud to mention that our online orientation program was shared with the Ministry of Women in New Zealand. And these were then shared by the ministry with all the NGOs who are attending to CSW 16 from New Zealand. Online orientation program has been translated in different languages through volunteer support of our members. Representing BPW International in different international meetings such as Women Vendors Exhibition and Forum in Sao Paulo in 2015, Women Economic Forum in New Delhi, India. Participating in UN meetings, for example, UNESCO meetings in Paris and FAO meeting in Rome to realize our advocacy actions. Presentations of our UN works in different regional meetings, such as regional meeting in North America and Caribbean, regional meeting of Asia Pacific in New Zealand, and 15 European Congress, 10th Forum of BPW Danube Enact in Croatia, 14 Young BPW Symposium in Rome, BPW Canada National AGME. According to a study of UN Women, if the studies are carried out without slowing down, 93.5 years are needed to ensure gender equality worldwide. However, all of us, especially for the young people, should know that we have no rights to complacency. For the healthy, happy, and sustainable future of us, next generations, and the world. So, I would like to ask Selin, what is her plans for the future to fight for the gender equality for the next generations?
Thank you, Dr. Arzu, so much for the very inspiring and motivational speech that you gave. I feel very empowered right now to be here. Thank you so much for the question. So I think I know everyone is talking about education, but as a high school student myself, I acknowledge the importance of it, especially during the COVID times even more. I think my main mission for the future is I want to work on a project and do something that I could directly work with young girls, especially to focus on equal access to education. And also I know that I want to be more on the field because especially during lockdown, we are always using Zoom, but my mission is, let me rephrase. So when we could do meetings and workshops in person, we could reach more girls. Yes, maybe it is easier to have hundreds of people in one Zoom call, but my main focus, my main mission is to reach out to girls who do not have access to those technological devices. So I definitely want to focus on that perspective even more. And after my college and master's degree, all of that's part of the journey. I want to work with the United Nations to be more on the forefront and work more in the field.
Thanks, Selin. I recommend you that maybe I share the advocacy toolkit with you, and you will give the young people in Turkey to adapt the advocacy works of BPW International. And by the way, I would like to thank for the contribution of Helen Sweitz. I am very sorry, I am not capable to make chat. I would like to say hello to Helen. It was a great honor and great pleasure to work with Helen during the time of my vice presidency for their support and also during the visit to New Zealand, she gave a big support to me for my participation to their General Assembly. And also, hi again, Yara, for the participation to this webinar. I am very, very happy to see you after a very long time. And please keep in touch to go forward. Thanks a lot for everybody. And Selin, I'm really proud of you for your works for BPW Turkey and BPW International as well. Please, you can take a position at international level and start works for BPW International because it is very important to understand BPW values. After that, you maybe strengthen your capacity to give support to our women in Turkey. Thank you, Selin. Your English is very nice, and when I listen to you, I really big proud of you once more. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
So, Selin, I wonder if you have any questions or comments for Dr. Arzu.
I know it is, so as a young person, I want to draw attention towards the youth involvement because from my experience personally, youth involvement is a very popular topic nowadays. And every single organization is talking about how it is important to amplify the voices of youth, but we cannot really see the action towards it. As a young activist, I'm usually there in the meetings because that specific organization wants to take a picture of me and then post it on their websites to say that, yeah, we have involved the youth. And in the meetings, I am either talked at or talked to. You can definitely feel the hierarchy there. But I feel like with what's very unique is with BPW is I truly feel that my voice is being heard, and I feel equal as you. There is no such a thing as hierarchy, and I can definitely feel that my voice is being amplified. And I know how BPW values the youth involvement and young BPW. So I would like to ask Dr. Arzu, what do you think will be the next step for maybe BPW International, but also for BPW Maiden's Tower Turkey? What will be the next step to involve the young girls?
Unfortunately, we have very unlucky period in our lives because of the corona. I really don't like to make webinar meeting. It is not the same, the face-to-face meetings, of course. But maybe you know, we arrange a series of the webinar meetings and also training programs for everybody, young BPW and also BPW members. So I recommend you to adapt the young BPW works to present young BPW works throughout the world, and also maybe you or your friends started more additional webinar meetings together with the young people to understand the value of the BPW International, and also
You're muted.
Young BPW members, Selin. It is the best way, maybe till the next June. We will keep in touch through the
Thank you so much.
Okay. Dr. Arzu, were you finished? You're on mute again. Your phone is still muted.
Yes. I am.
Okay, you are. Okay, sorry, I didn't understand. All right, great. So I want to ask now Nilima. We'll open it up to the full audience in a moment. But Nilima, I'd like to ask you as my co-facilitator, do you have any questions or comments for our two speakers?
Okay, so being in the international board for 3 years, one of the things that I've understood is, you know, when it comes to making statement or recommendations or anything to our partner organization, young ones are excluded. We are not included. So to Arzu, how do you think that we can come up with a platform in which, you know, the young people can put out their voice whenever we make any recommendation or any kind of statement to UN or either to any other partner organization? And to Selin, is that the amazing work that you are doing in your country. I know we have a lot of young members who have no idea what you're doing and how that can be done. So have you thought about collaboration with other countries, like with the twinning, or you can directly talk to our young members and then the young members can start the similar, you know, initiative in their country? I think it can go global within BPW as well. So have you thought about that part?
You did great job, Nilima. I really appreciated your great works. Maybe you have to continue to the meetings with young BPW members, special meetings with young BPW members, and maybe you contact with the members and you understand what is the important issue for them. Because the people participated in the organizations at international level, it is very important to adapt to feel BPW. But this period, it is very difficult, and also because of the financial issues, it is not possible to participate in the international events for the young BPW members. However, maybe you more focused on the webinar meetings and you select the topics together with the young BPW members. And for the advocacy action, because it is very important for the history of BPW. BPW means that not the charity. BPW is the advocacy organization. However, for the future, the capacity of the young BPW members should be strengthened in the means of how the advocacy works should be realized. However, you should use the advocacy toolkit we prepared. Maybe we have to strengthen these modules for the young people and share these toolkits with them. Or, for example, Helen or the other native speaker members prepare the video training programs for the young BPW members in order to increase their advocacy capacity. It is very important for BPW International.
Selin,
Selin?
With the other organizations that I'm working with, I know it is very important to focus on Turkey also, because it is my country and I want to make an impact on my community also. But I think it is very important for us to work on a more global level too, and just building relationships internationally with other countries, learning their perspectives, their issues, and their solutions. I think it is such an important and unique experience. So with the other organizations I'm working with, such as He for She, Girl Up, Girl Rising, I had definitely the opportunity to witness the power of being international and just connecting with people from different countries and just advocate for our passions and just trying to create a meaningful change. Unfortunately, as Young BPW Made Discover Turkey, we haven't done a huge thing to get in touch with other young BPW members from across the world. But I think in the meaning of regarding the youth involvement too, it should be definitely a priority for us, because using the power of young people is a very unique tool in order to achieve, in order to make gender equality a reality. So with Young BPW, I think especially with the power of social media and using social media as our tool, we should be more on the forefront and be more willingly to just get in touch with them without hesitating and just take action immediately.
Okay, now I have a question for each of you. I'm going to start with you, Selin, so stay on. So don't mute. So the question I have for you is, you just mentioned social media, and this is all about intergenerational dialogue. So from your perspective, being so young, how do you think your generation might engage with the UN differently than generations before you have done?
I think the power of social media is very much underestimated, and it has been criticized and judged a lot. And I definitely understand that part of perspective and that part of the issue. But I think social media is such a powerful tool for us to use to connect and just raise our voices. I think we have definitely witnessed the power of that with the Black Lives Matter movement, but with the hashtag challenge accepted movement. In just a couple of hours, people from all around the corner, all around the globe, can have access to the same news and same just hashtags and see what is going on around the world. Same with the trend topics with Twitter. So I think using social media can be a very different thing than what the older generation expects. From my perspective, when we look at very powerful organizations, especially just new but powerful organizations, all of them are sharing the same thing. They are all very active and very engaging when it comes to social media. They're interactive. The colors that they use, the phrases that they use, the images, all of them, just young people want to contribute and they want to work with them too, because even though they haven't seen their website or they haven't seen their Facebook page, but they still want to with that one tweet or with that one Instagram post. So I think as BPW too, we should definitely be more active on social media. And when I say that, it's not only YouTube or Facebook, but on Instagram, Twitter, and there are so many different apps, and all of them are from a different, are being used for different reasons. But we can all be just focus more on how to make our accounts more engaging and how we can just draw the attention of young people on our pages.
Okay, great. So especially utilize
And
social media and technology. I have a different question for you, Arzu, actually. So,
and I would like to add something. Social media mostly used to strengthen the personal communication among members. It is, of course, very important. But on the other hand, there is no more information about the works of BPW worldwide. So maybe, and many members doesn't understand English. In this meanwhile, the presidents or somebody take the responsibility to explain the works of BPW at worldwide should be shared by the members in the native language, in the mother language. However, maybe somebody take the responsibility to translate the information about the BPW works to the members. However, they understand why we are the part of BPW International. Many of the members does not aware what is the relation between the BPW International and BPW Turkey or BPW Italy at the national level. So also it affects to catch the new memberships for the organization. I believe that for example, if you are living in Turkey now, if you ask some questions about the BPW International to our members in Turkey, most of them does not aware the works of the BPW International, because this period it is not possible to involve in the international events. As I said previously, it depends on the corona and depends on the financial issues as well. However, maybe we have to organize something to understand the BPW values or BPW events, BPW projects all over the world, short messages to our members in Turkish as well.
okay.
Can I combine my question and what Dr. Arzu has just said? Can I follow up with that? Okay. So I definitely agree with Dr. Arzu. I think as BPW International and BPW on a regional level, we are all doing great things, but we are not really the best when it comes to highlighting and showcasing them, especially on social media, back to my point. Especially to make it more engageful with my generation, for example. We do not want to read files. We do not want to read research papers. We want bullet point informations. We want colors and GIFs, and we just want to snap on our, pop up on our phones and just learn about that thing in 30 seconds or so. We want things to be fast because change is really fast. We want to follow up with things, but we wanted to make it happen immediately. So to add what Dr. Arzu has just said, highlighting the works that we are doing with BPW, the all great things that we are doing for change, these things should be highlighted, but how can I say, more bullet points way on social media. Just, for example, a yellow post and just with one sentence what we have done, etc. Creating things like that, or on the website, who are we, what our achievements, etc. Just things that could pop up on our screens and make it more engageful, and just using GIFs and bullet points to draw attention of youth. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good.
During
So
the
those
time sorry, Anne, I am very sorry. Yes, continue.
Go ahead. Well, let's open it up to the audience now anyway, so that we at least get some time with them. So if you would also like to jump into the conversation, remember our focus is intergenerational dialogue. So we're always looking for different perspectives based on the many generations. We can't also, by the way, Selin, say the older generation, because there are 5 generations at the moment in the workforce and a couple more who are at the other ends of those spectrums. So we have a lot of generations in the room and in our organization. So yes, older generations, plural, you could certainly say. So who would like to be first? If you want to just raise your hand, because we're all on one screen, I'll see you, or if you want to use the raise hand function in Zoom.
I benefit from the last generations. We have many members. They are older than me. I jump into the international processes and international events just after I established the first club in Ankara, and very strict communication between our old members, vice members. So I benefit many things from them. So it is very important. It is the first thing. And the other thing, we have no chance to involve in maybe the international events now, but we have to arrange something. For example, I was the president of BPW Turkey. In every 15 days, I arrange a meeting and I explain what is happening in BPW International. So most of the members are aware that what is BPW International, what is our relationships, and what is going on. But now, maybe they arrange some meetings, some breakfast, some brunch, some dinner. Okay, it is very important to come together and know each other at national level. But it is not enough to understand BPW International, because we are not the national club, national association, national organization. We are the part of BPW International. To become a member, BPW member, we have to understand that what is BPW. It doesn't depend on the people. Maybe 5 years ago, I was the president of BPW Turkey, but now the other people are the president. It is the major thing. We have to allow the spirit of BPW. So we have to spend efforts to understand BPW International, the rules of BPW, advocacy rules of BPW, why it is important to allow BPW during 100 years. It is the major things. I believe that it is the major things to go forward, and also to provide services for the future generations.
Thanks, Arzu. So now I wanted to open it up to the rest of the audience. And remember indeed that we're talking about intergenerational dialogue as our format and UN at the grassroots level as our topic. So who'd like to jump in first? I'm looking for hands or some indication that you'd like to speak. So UN involvement at the grassroots level. Helen, I'm going to call on you because I know that BPW in New Zealand does huge amounts of work with UN, and you personally do also. So talk about that grassroots level all the way over in New Zealand.
Okay, thank you, Anne, and thank you both to our amazing speakers. And I just want to say that we do a lot of work, and we still use the toolkit that Arzu actually developed for us. And it was through the conversation with Susan O'Malley that CSW NGO started to develop a toolkit and started doing the videos. So as Selin has said, that it's really interesting that we don't actually wave our own banner of what we do and what we achieve and how we actually raise our voice. We're too focused on what we're doing in our own country. So for us, our bread and butter for BPW in New Zealand is advocacy, and we do right through succession training. We find our young members have an issue or identify that they have a need, and we encourage them to find their voice and come and speak, not only at local government level, but at national level with going to our governments, but then also getting involved with all of our ministries. So we have an international caucus here in New Zealand, and it's through that international caucus and NGOs that we do the collaboration. So YWCA is huge at that seat at that table. We also have a number of other representations there of Girl Guides, and we're looking at succession planning. So when we sit around the table, we actually talk about all of the international treaties, whether we're going to CSW. So at the moment, we're working on a statement for, and we're going to use that as a training tool. And Dr. Arzu has kindly put her hand up and said that she will be part of that, because we're working with a number of BPWs that have never participated in actually being involved in writing a statement and what that looks like. So thank you, Arzu, for agreeing to be part of that mentoring program with me. So we, like you said, Anne, it's really important to find your voice at all generations, and we certainly push that in New Zealand. Absolutely. Thank you.
Great. And on that CS work, I think Australia is joining you, Hong Kong has asked to join, and a few others. So there will be quite a collaboration going.
Yes,
okay.
They have. Thank you, Anne.
So Nilima, UN at grassroots level in Nepal, what is Nepal working on in relation to UN work?
Okay, regarding BPW?
Well, specifically UN and UN advocacy, since that's our theme today.
So UN has been really active in Nepal. I think it happened after the civil war that took place in Nepal, and you see UN, thing everywhere. So talking about the major points that, the UN has been advocating in Nepal is regarding women, is like, we have this, caste system in Nepal, which is like very discriminatory to certain caste people. So they have been doing a lot of awareness campaign regarding that. And another one is, we call it chopad. It is like when you have, in the villages, when you have periods, you are not allowed to sleep inside the house or stay inside the house or do anything inside the house. So they have the separate hut where a lot of young girls, they die because there are sometimes snakes, and sometimes they are men who come there, and sometimes there are fires. So this is one of the major thing that UN has been working in Nepal for really long time to actually make sure that this is it doesn't take place. Though we still have a lot of places where we see that women are not allowed to stay inside the house. So regarding the different agencies of UN that we have in Nepal, we had a lot of agencies that worked in different development, whether it was in development sector, or the empowerment sector, or in gender equality sector after the civil war. But now, slowly, I think a lot of them are shifting their, advocacy work to another part of the world. But we still have a lot of UN initiative taking place in Nepal. So within BPW, I think BPW Nepal has been, very closely working with United Nations, because UN Women actually in Nepal. I think we have Nina Karna from Nepal, who is here in the webinar right now. And I think she can, being in the executive board of Nepal, I think she can give more information about how BPW Nepal is working with United Nations.
Meena, do you want to jump in?
Good evening, everybody.
Hello.
I'm Nina Karna from Nepal. BPW is working with UN Women, like women empowerment and women education, and in the remote area of Nepal, and then how to empower the women. We teach women, we educated women, and we give and we tie up with the microfinance program. Microfinance works by giving the tiny loan to set up the small business. And so like this, and sometimes we don't have the money, sometimes we don't have the fund, and we ask fund with the UN Women, United Nations, UNDP, sometimes the project we can get from the United Nations, UNDP, and mostly we are working with the microfinance projects. And the CEDAW organization, this is the international organization from US, and CEDAW organization gives us a wholesale loan, and we have to repay that in dollar. And the fluctuation rate of the dollar, this is the problem with us. And sometimes we work for that, how to manage this gap, the fluctuation rate. And so this project is working properly. We are working properly, and sometimes some problem, and we solve, find out the solution for that problem. And like this, we are running these projects for the poor people, poor women who are not access to the bank, who are not access to the any big business houses. So they set up their small businesses, and then they do their earn some money, and then they use for the children, for the household works. And so don't have, when they have money in their hand, and they have get the confidence to go ahead. So that this way we are working with the collaboration of different types of UN projects. Thank you.
Thank you, Mina. Looks like we lost Dr. Arzu for a moment. Hopefully she's rejoining us. She's, you are here. There you are. Yes. Okay.
Sorry.
Good. Good.
I am
Good.
trying to show you again.
I know you're at the beach, so her internet is not entirely reliable.
No.
So, Selin, I have a question for you, and that is, you're now engaged in a number of UN initiatives, and one led to another and led to another. Our young members, and maybe not as young members, who want to get involved in similar programs and introduce them if they're not already in their countries, how best can they do that?
For me, I know it is very scary to, send an email or make a phone call or just meet with that person and talk with them. But that is what I do, and it has worked for most of the time now. And for example, with the He for She movement, I have sent an email to UN Women HQ. And it's of course very nerve-wracking, I'm not going to lie, but I saw an opportunity and I saw an organization that was appealing to me. So I have sent that email. And also learning how to use your circle and your contacts is very important. Just meeting with new people and learning about their work. And if you are sharing the same mindset and same passions, then working with them and let them guide you also is very important. And as you have mentioned, one leads to another. So whenever you find something, like if you find something that is similar to what you want to achieve with UN, all of them are very welcoming. I know many people from UN, from different parts of UN, and all of them are there for you if you truly want to do something. I think what especially young people do not really understand is United Nations is not just a building, and it is not just for the governments, but it is for us, and they are there for us. If they are there for you, and they will support you if you truly want to do something for humanity.
Great, thank you. And Dr. Arzu, a lot of people, I think, wonder, a lot of members wonder how they can become, or if they could become, a UN representative for BPW, or even what that involves. So does someone have to have a huge amount of experience and background and a big CV with the UN already in order to become one of our UN representatives? Or how can they go about that?
Then there is some restrictions to become a UN representative. When I became a UN representative, there is some reactions because I am living in Turkey and there is no UN agency active in Turkey. I mostly participated in the UN meetings in Europe. So maybe it is not the issue of me. Maybe the executive board increase in the number of UN representatives, and people interested in the UN issues become a UN representative of BPW International and get a chance to participate in the meetings and also get the information from UN agencies. Now I am trying to share all the informations I received from United Nations to our members. But it is not easy to translate into Turkish all of these information I received from United Nations agencies and United Nations. So maybe the strategy should be developed at the international level, and the board changed their rules to assign BPW United Nations representatives, and it is very complicated issue. Many people want to become UN representatives, but they are very, very passive, and they have no share their information to other members. And the same people continuously become an UN representatives, and the young people have no chance to become UN representatives. There is many complications at the executive level. So maybe we have to change the rules and give chance to young people to become a UN representative. Unfortunately, during my term, I make a big war to become new members, UN representatives, and big reactions I got. So it is not very simple issue, unfortunately. It is the problem of BPW International overall. I know that some UN representative, I sent 1 million mail to them to get them into the circle to develop reports and CSW written statements and oral statements. It is not possible to do that. I make cooperation, for example, Helen, but I have no communication. I have no idea about some UN representatives living in the Europe. But they insist to stay as a UN representative because they participated in some UN meetings in Europe, but there is no feedback from them. Mm-hmm. So it is horrible for BPW, for future of the BPW. Maybe we have to change the rules and for example, I insist them, I push them to get the reports for us, but they don't want to prepare a report. There was a big reaction for them because during years and years, they don't give any report, any feedback to the executive board.
Okay, so circling back to the question though, because that's the past. Circling back to the question, it sounds like we need some changes in BPW rules, and in order to be a UN rep, it's very helpful if you live somewhere where there actually is a UN agency. Otherwise, you need to travel a lot to a nearby one. And so that means not everybody will have the chance, because there are a lot of places in the world where there are not UN agencies. But if you are, then and with some procedural changes in BPW, then maybe it requires diligence and follow-up and a lot of proactive behavior. So that's my summary for that. So we are out of time, and because we keep these to 1 hour, I want to thank both of our speakers, Dr. Arzu Ozyol and Selin Ozunaldim, maybe our someday VP for UN. Anyway, hopefully. I want to know you in 20 years from now, Selin. And so we want to thank also all of our audience for coming along for the ride, and for some of you for jumping into the conversation. This recording will be available online in the next 24 to 48 hours. We're now going to put these online, and so you can watch it again. Thanks to all of you, and hope to see you again next month. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thanks a lot.
Bye.